In this video, you get to learn about Alaskan dog sledding as we visit the Turning Heads Kennel and we take a trip to the Iditarod headquarters.
It's our blessed adventure. It's our blessed adventure.
So in Alaska, what do? You go dog sledding, of course. We're here today at Turning Head Kennels, and we're meeting the dogs today. And this one is pretty frisky with Kimmy, was jumping all over. So we're out here meeting the dogs. And then shortly, after we meet the dogs, we're gonna go on the dog sled ride. And then we're gonna meet the puppies, and also they're gonna tell us about how they rig everything up. So as you can see all around us, there's lots of dogs. She said there's over 65 dogs here on the property. So you can see there's dogs everywhere. Hi, buddy. So look at this one. He just jumped on his house. Some of them seem a little skittish, you know, even though there's probably used to seeing people come around all the time. Some of them still seem to be a little skittish. He's a boisterous little guy over there. So she's checking them out. This is Tsunami, and they said because she's wild, she kind of a little. She gets the what do they call them? What do they call the term they use? Oh, what did that lady tell us? The term that they use for when the dogs get anxious.
Zoomies?
Get the zoomies?
Yeah. She gets the zoomies.
But she's a really great dog. She just wants attention. So if you like go into her circle and start playing with her, she'll calm down. But if you're sort of on the edge of her circle or not getting her lots of pets, she's like,
hello. I'll take you. I want lots of attention too.
How are you? Get
You're
your
so
up close
cute.
and personal look.
Get a picture.
and she's sometimes the lead dog. You can see she's got that extra line on her collar, so she can get flipped to another dog. And
Okay.
Tsunami's sister is here too.
Oh,
She wants to
really?
go to her.
Where's she at?
She's right over here.
You gonna
right
talk
there.
to us some more? You gonna talk some more? We're gonna go see Tsunami's sister. Oh, there we go.
There we go. You can put Twister.
Twister. There's Twister.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi.
Hi, baby.
How you doing, sweetie?
Hi.
Let's take some pictures.
These are all are these huskies?
Alaskan bred, specifically for strength, speed, and endurance at the beginning of the gold rush.
Okay.
So they don't look like the traditional Siberian husky. They're a little bit more molest, but they have a lot better strength, speed, and endurance. So we bred that Siberian husky that doesn't really have the sort of speed and running ability, but has a really strong coat and really good paws for snow, with a bunch of dogs that are stronger as runners and athletes, and then we're able to create this sort of super dog. And these guys are happy to be running anywhere from 80 to 130, 140 miles a day.
Oh, wow.
And they have sort of slightly bigger paws that can kind of act like snowshoes when they're running in the snow, which is really fascinating. And then they just, become sort of the Olympic ultramarathon runners of the dog world.
So that's why when they're all excited to get hooked up, they're ready to go.
They're ready because this is their job. This is their
That's
favorite
their thing
activity.
to do.
They love to run.
And so how
So
old did you
Tsunami
say
came to
Tsunami
visit me.
is?
About 6 years old. Tsunami's 6, so she's in her prime racing years.
We're leaving the dogs, and they're getting a little riled up.
And then there's Chef.
Oh, that's awesome.
At 10 point.
That's awesome. Oh, I didn't even see you.
I'm gonna have you guys bring your backpacks this way, and we're gonna hang them up on the harness rack here, just because it's a little bit of a tight squeeze.
All right, so here's our cart.
Looks like you have everyone here.
Right here.
You guys are going to wait here.
And they got everything lined out. They'll get the dogs ready, get just all set up. So we're with a group over here. They are from North Carolina, and we're gonna be on the cart here shortly. So we're all loaded up.
Yes, sir.
Everybody wave to the camera. So we're group number 1. We're number 1. They're number 2. So we're getting ready to get set up. We got a whole new set of dogs over here that they're going to probably hook us up to. So we'll show you as they hook them up. We're getting the lead dog hitched up. Now they're bringing in the other ones here. They all have their certain position they like to be in, I guess. Oh, they're bringing them up one at a time.
It's great to know that
The group of dogs where we were just out socializing with are where they're pulling them from. So they're going back in there where we were just inside the gate, pulling out a set of dogs. And then we're getting them all hooked up. So far we got 4 up there, and we'll get the rest here shortly.
There you go.
They hook them up in 2 different locations. They hook them up in the rear, and then they hook them up on the side of the harness. So they're hooked up in 2 different spots. So getting close to getting the last few dogs in here, and then we'll be ready to rip. Boy, they're getting excited now. They know we're getting close. We got a 12-dog team, and man, they are pumped.
Let's go.
I gotta switch these last 2 around because the one keeps wanting to get on the other side. He's like, I want this side. Yeah, ready to go. Driver back there. You got him going. They are cruising along. We're free. This is what we want to do. Yay!
Straight in. Hey. Jet. Good girl. All right, Jet. All right. Hey, you like to stop here. All right. Up.
Wait, let's go.
Hey. Ranger, Jet. Up.
Hey, this is an even number, Marissa.
Look at Jet. Ranger.
We got 2 leaders.
Ooh, Jet. Line out. Good dogs.
Chet and Ranger is ahead.
Jet and Granger.
Jet and Granger.
They're both Iditarod veterans, but they don't always like to listen.
So they're talking about the junior Iditarod, which is they said 150-mile race, 2-day race.
Alright, so I chose not to.
Yeah.
Oh, easy, easy. It was rough enough. I got it. You had the blizzard video, right?
How many people do the junior?
16. Yep, 16. I only had 8. There was only 8. Ready? Ready? Alright.
You're ready.
Ready?
Oh, he's back down.
When it gets start. Alright. Straight in. Straight in.
I mean, what's more stubborn than a husky?
I have not used these guys. I have
deliciously something the dogs are best in the skill, that's just like dog racing are also some of the most different.
different kennels. Our dogs are a little bit smaller.
How many days do you take?
It's a 2-day race.
2 days.
I was out there for
Oh, really?
So you said it's 150 mile,
150 miles, yeah.
2-day race.
2 days from Knik to Yetna Station, which is the first checkpoint on the Iditarod, and then back to Willow.
Okay.
So what do you call warm temperature that you were in?
I think it was around 15 to 20 degrees.
And then you said when he did his, he was in the blizzard.
Negative 20.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
A little bit colder.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Wow. Qualify you or don't, but most of them do.
Okay. So you have to have. You said how many total? How many qualifying
3 or
races?
4. It might be 4
now it's actually you have to have 750 miles.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay, maybe
So you have to have 750 miles of race miles.
Race miles.
And only certain races still qualify for this. A lot of them qualify, but some of them don't.
Jet, Granger, line out.
So you have to have exactly 750 miles. So there are races like the 440. So you still have to have another 10 miles if you did that with a 300-mile race.
Okay.
So it is pretty exact. They don't like to let you in anywhere under, even if it's just 10 miles under.
Okay.
Okay.
They're pretty strict on the rules. Makes it safe for the dogs, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Most of the rules in Iditarod are for dog care. So it's all about keeping these guys happy and healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
Jack Granger.
So what do you?
Throughout the day, do they use all 60 dogs to run, or?
We do use most of the dogs to run throughout the day for different tours. We'll switch out our teams. We can't get to all 60 through the day.
Right.
So we will rotate through a couple days. And we'll use
Okay.
all of them. That way
How many
everyone
of
gets
them
a
are
chance.
lead dogs?
Jet, Granger.
We have right now. We have I'd say close to 20 dogs that could be in lead if we wanted to.
Okay.
Which that's pretty high. Some yards do have all of their dogs can be used as lead dogs. I know the last yard I worked for. Pretty much all of our dogs could be a lead dog at any point. So it was
Okay.
always really helpful. If a lead dog got sick or a little bit sore, we could switch them out for anyone on our team.
Okay.
Made it really easy.
That's pretty cool.
Perfect. Whenever you're ready. Perfect. Straight in. Nope, straight in. Jet is just doing everything I don't want to do.
I have my own mind today.
This was our sled team for today. There's the leaders, Jet, and forget what his name was already. Hi there. What's going on?
I saw that earlier. That's why.
Hey, troublemakers.
And then, oops, sorry. That's Ruskin and Brandy. Oh no, you're good. You're good. Just don't stop for me. You're good. There's Lanita and Zydeco, something. Zydeco. And then
Kaz on the left and Foxy on the right.
Kaz and Foxy.
Behind them we have Zenic on the left and Richard on the right.
Zenic and Richard.
And then we have Romer on the left and Proper on the right.
What was it, two?
Romer and Proper.
Romer and Proper.
So
All
these
right.
back 6 are all siblings.
So these back 6, Romer and Proper, this one here, and then Kaz Zenic, they're all siblings, and they're all 2-year-olds ready to run the Iditarod probably within this year or next year. So they are good to go, ready. And there's Miss Kimmy. She's up here taking in all the dogs.
I've looked forward to this for years. Can we get a picture? Andrew, get.
Here, stand behind them.
How many years I've waited to do this?
I know. Here, stand right there now. Get your picture with them.
I've waited to do this for years.
They're more saying, pick me,
So
pick me.
just sort of,
That's what I
yeah,
wondered.
Yeah.
just so that you see the harness set up. The lead dogs are just harnessed in the back,
What are you doing?
and they're hooked up to a little triangle. Then the other dogs are lead hooked to the side. They're still kind of in a triangle, one off to the front, and then one off to the back with the line going down the middle. And then their triangles back there. So each set of dogs is, as you go down, put one from the front, one from the side, back to their triangle.
Why is this one by itself? Is it hurt?
She's old and she has a little bit of a sore shoulder.
We'll work their way over to the puppies.
Goblin.
And you can see all the little fellas in there.
The pups. The gobs.
Look at the puppies. Oh my goodness.
So how many puppies are in there? 2, 4, 6. Okay, there's 11.
That's a whole team.
That's
Yes.
Yeah, you're getting pretty close to the hot point. So I could take all of them. Babies. That's a whole blunt. Perfect. You're not eating anything.
Are you crying? Yes. Oh, go ahead.
I'll get more puppies out.
Okay.
You're a little smaller.
So you know who this is.
Yeah.
And what her favorite thing to do is
Look.
be with the animals.
Oh.
Look at this.
at the puppy.
This is more to the face than a mother could love. Look
Yes.
at that. Just a precious little thing. Oh, look at that.
3 weeks old, I think they said.
Yeah. So she's in her.
Oh,
She's
it's
in her.
awesome.
She's in her atmosphere here. Little puppies.
I need to take this. You need to come.
Again, like we said, we're at Turning Heads Kennels here in Seward, Alaska. And this is something she's been waiting to do for a long time.
Years. It was on my bucket list. Years I've been waiting.
So here
Now I
she
gotta
is.
come back in the winter and do it in the snow. I can only imagine.
She would love to see this little fella grown up and
Yes.
pulling a sled. Somebody's just so overwhelmed with dogs, she just can't help herself but just stand around and gaze. She's it's like being starstruck.
Oh.
We're waiting on us up there.
Oh.
We're heading up to the gear shed where they're going to demonstrate the gear and talk about all the gear that they use for sledding.
Puppies. We all know enough about the dogs, so it's kind of nice. We can trade places. None of us get too bored. It does get a little tiring when you do the gear demo, and it's like the 6th time that day that you talked over everything. You're like, did I go over this with you guys already? So we do like to change it out between us. Makes it a little easier for us. So this is the sled. You guys all saw how fast those dogs can go. That was 12 dogs pulling. I'm waiting for them to calm down, so I'm not yelling as much, but it might take them a minute. So it was 12 dogs pulling the 400-pound cart with all of us on it. That's well over 1,000 pounds at that point. Thank you. Versus a sled that weighs about 75 pounds, loaded with a little bit of gear and you on it. It's maybe looking at 350, 400 pounds. So basically the empty cart weight, which is pretty easy to pull for them. With all that, they're going to be a lot faster. So you'll have 2 more dogs than I did run. You'll have 2 more dogs than what we had out there, with less than half the weight. So they're definitely strong enough to pull it. So to slow down all that power, you have your main drag mat back here. Who's barking? You have your main drag mat back here. This is going to kind of keep you between the speed you want. which is about 8 to 12 miles an hour. Anywhere under 8, they get really distracted, jump off the trail, act like idiots. And anywhere over 12 miles an hour, they get fatigued a lot quicker. So we like to keep them in that 10 to 12 mile an hour range. It's kind of the golden range. They're gonna start howling as I'm talking. They do this every time. It's a little annoying. With that brake, this is not gonna stop you. That's just gonna keep you that speed like I was mentioning, instead of you going 20 miles an hour. To stop you, you have this big brake back here, and you'll give the command like you heard us, whoa. That's our stop command. Sometimes we'll say easy before it to get them kind of ready that we're gonna stop. And then once you do come to a stop, you put in your emergency brake right here. It's called your snow hook or your ice hook. You kick that right into the snow, which is a little bit like an anchor or a fish hook. When it gets pulled, it kind of digs in. That way, if they do pull, it's not going to pop out and leave you. It's supposed to be built like that, at least. These dogs, like I said, are very powerful. So they can rip that snow hook right out of the ground if they really want to. Which is why we always work in front of our sled, just like I am right now. So if we're working in our bag or with our dogs, we're always in front of it. We never like to go behind the sled. Because they can pop that hook at any point, and if you're in front of it, you can catch it. But if you're behind it, now you've got to run up and chase your dog team, which is never fun. It's possible, but it's not likely that you're going to make it. And then I also like to put my snow hook on the right side, and I work on the left side. That way, if it does pop up, it doesn't wrap around my leg, or the claw doesn't get me in the leg. Little trick. For our gear, we do have our boots here, or our mucklucks. These are a little more traditional style of boot. You feel it if you want. It's like a big wool slipper inside. You can pass those around. Then to go along with those, you also have your Neo liners. These go right over those boots. You wear these on top of those. They give you more traction, a little more insulated, and they're waterproof. But you don't need those boots to be waterproof if it's 0, -20 out. It doesn't matter at that point. Everything is frozen. But they're very warm inside. They're like big wool slippers. And not all mushers use these. Like I said, these are a little more traditional style. Nowadays we'll use what we call bunny boots, or sometimes we'll use baffin boots. And baffin boots are really like a big wool slipper, and you have to have these on top of them as well. And then bunny boots are what I used in my race. They're old military boots. They're big leather boots. They're good to about -40 degrees. I don't want to try them out in that colder weather, but they are good to -40. They're going back to the yard now. I got them because they're about half the price of one pair of these, and they're a lot heavier, which is why most people don't like them. But they are waterproof, so I don't need an extra waterproof layer over them, so I'm wrinkling. So yeah, they're waterproof, but they are heavy, and they are insulated, which is really nice. But that's why a lot of people don't like them. They are heavy and they're not comfortable to run in. For some of our other gear, we do have our beaver mitts right here. These are our outermost layer of glove. So these are made of moose, beaver, and sea otter. You'll typically have 1 or 2 pairs of gloves on under these. I know in my race I had 2 pairs of gloves on under mine. You can try them on and pass them around. They're very soft inside. And the sea otter is a pretty small amount of it, because the sea otter, I don't know if you know this already, but it has 1 million hair follicles per square inch, which is enough to cover an entire cat. So you could cover an entire cat in 1 square inch of sea otter, which is kind of crazy. Wow. That was a fun fact I learned from a kayaking guide, actually. It's not just one I know off the top of my head. And then we do have our parkas, or another outside layer. You're going to have anywhere from 4 to 6 other layers on under this. At the bottom here, you have your skirt. It has a beaver liner. In the top, you have your ruff, which is wolf and wolverine, I believe. Natives call this a cussbuck, or sometimes people nowadays still call them that. We really refer to them as parkas now. And sometimes they do have hoods or fur, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have skirts, sometimes they don't have skirts. Given all sorts of shapes, color, sizes. You have a full zip, a half zip like that, or no zipper at all. You can try it on if you want. It makes for a good photo. Get on for sure.
Yeah.
So somebody's ready for the Iditarod. They're all geared up with the Parker. Now to get this thing off.
Yeah, I'm done. That's right.
Does anyone want to put the harness on? Super easy. Sure. You want to try it? All right. So, let's go back here. I know.
So this is what
Like,
they
let me
put
go.
on them if for
See, I
some
just
reason they
ran.
were to get
Yeah,
cold.
that's right. I
So
was
this
I
flap-
was sleeping.
This flap down here is going to point air down and away from their belly area where there is less fur. It's going to point all that air down to the ground so it's not too cold on them. And you will put these on anywhere under 0 usually for resting. It is kind of up to the musher how you think your dogs are doing. You might think, okay, it's -20, I'm running, but all my dogs seem hot. I'm not going to put jackets on. There isn't like a specific temperature you would do. Good girl. Just like us, they do need to layer. So we do have these nice little vests for them. This is one type of vest. You can pass that one around. Come here, Jackson. I'm not going to put this on her because she's going to be very mad at me. She'll face this way. But I'll kind of show you how it goes on. This one is a Velcro on the back. That one just pulls over their head. Jax, come here. Good girl. So you see her legs would go right through there typically, and then would Velcro right around her back, just like that. This one does have little pockets in it.
different
That's
layers.
a different vest. Yep, it
Different
slips
vest.
right over her head. It does the same thing though. This one we have sewn pockets into for hand warmers. So when they are resting, if it is extra cold out, sometimes we'll put hand warmers in there. We
that's
don't
kinda
put them in when we're running. I take that one from you. We don't put them in when we're running because hand warmers are too hot when they're running. They don't need the vest and jacket super often when running. Our other piece of gear, our foxtail here. This does kind of what that flap on the jacket does. Goes right around their belly. It's mainly for the boy dogs, but it can be used on girls as well, especially if they just had puppies like Queen. It keeps that kind of area down there warm. It has not been used, I promise. If you want to feel it, pass it around. It's super soft. It's called a foxtail because it is made of fox. And it is real fur. Most of the fur we use in mushing is real, just because synthetic stuff doesn't keep you quite as warm. Got everything with that one. And then we have our little ankle warmers here, or ankle braces. Keep that back from me too. We do only use these ankle wrist wraps, I guess, when we are resting, because it doesn't let them move their arm as easily. So we put this right on her, just like that. Yeah, I know, you don't love it. Thank you. Goes right around their ankle, just like that. Keeps them warm, or if they do have a sore ankle, kind of keeps it straight so they're not bending it. Our last piece of dog gear would be our booties. These are not meant to keep these dogs warm. As you can see, they're very thin. They're not meant to keep their feet warm because their feet usually don't need to be warm. They're usually plenty warm without us adding anything to them. These are actually to stop ice from getting between their pads. So you do get a lot of ice or snow buildup in there. It cuts the sides of them. That's really not good for them, obviously. It's like running with a cut on the bottom of your foot. No one wants to do that.
So they do wear those then?
Yep, they'll wear these on all 4 paws. I'll put it on Jet real fast. She'll sit well. That was more muscle memory. We usually wipe to get the snow out of their paw before we put her on. Let me slip it right over the paw. This one is a little bit small for her, so she might not put it on. We do have different sizes for different dogs. There we go. So put it right on just like that. Come here, Jet. It's your turn. I know, 1 foot. When you go to put her on, you'll put your finger in the way, and then you'll Velcro as tight as you can over your finger, and then you'll slip your finger out. And that's just to make sure they don't lose circulation, and make sure it's nice and tight for them, so it's not going to slip off on the trail at any point. Hi, I know. I'll take it off. Let me see.
So how fast do those wear out?
Usually use a couple pairs of these a day if you're running 100 miles. Some dogs, if their nails are a little bit longer, they'll rip through them faster, obviously. But usually it takes a couple pairs a day on Iditarod. Or if you're just training at home for fun, you'll just wear 1 pair a day. All right, Jet, does anyone want to take off the harness? I'll take it up. You take it off? Perfect.
We have a new entry for the 2023 Iditarod. Kim, she's all ready.
Yeah, I'm all ready.
This is about as far as she's gonna
I gotta
Iditarod.
go pick out my 12 dogs.
14.
14 dogs.
She's gonna Iditarod for like 30 seconds in this suit, and then she's gonna be done.
This takes a lot of work. You gotta work out.
So she's standing on the sled there, got her all geared up, so she's ready to go.
Yep. And this is how you stop it, right?
Yep, that's their main brake.
And so your gear is everything in here, right?
Yep, so if you want to take off your parker or take off the layers, you have to unzip that, usually while you're moving. So you bend over the handlebars, try to stuff everything in there.
Really? And this is like a cooler?
Yep, there's a cooler under there, and you can use it as a seat as well, so sometimes you can
Oh,
sit
so
down.
you sit down.
Not all sleds have them though. When I raced junior, I did not have a seat on mine.
Oh wow, that would have been nice to have a seat.
Yeah.
So how much does this cost?
The sled itself,
Yeah.
or this sled, and then mushing for training for a full year of Iditarod and everything is gonna be close to 50,000 from what I heard. That's gonna be training and feeding the dogs, getting them ready for Iditarod, and an entry fee as well.
Wow.
So that's why you work for somebody, so
Yep,
you can.
that's why I work for someone here.
Yeah, that's why you work for somebody, so you can do it.
You
Pretty
already
much
took
free. I don't have to
pictures?
pay. Yep, so this ties to the back of it with a string, kind of like our cables for the dog line. I don't know why that's in there. But you can fit usually 2 dogs on each side, and there's a middle divider that a lot of times you can take out, so you just have a big area.
Oh, so they can rest in between.
Oh yeah, and then you can fit up to 4 dogs in there. Sometimes people will have them for gear. They'll have a lot smaller of a trailer, about that size.
Do you see a lot of people using those, taking extra? What is it? Taking extra dogs or just resting?
Resting dogs.
Just resting
usually.
dogs, as far as like if you get one that might be you see kind of getting tired or something.
They get tired or they might get a little sore, but you don't want to drop them out of the race yet. You can start with 14 dogs, and you can't start with any more, even in your trailer. So you'll mainly use this to rest dogs, or if a dog does get injured, it doesn't happen a lot. But if it does happen, then you can put them in here to bring them to the checkpoint.
Okay.
We'll drop all, if a dog is injured or sick, we'll drop it at the checkpoint, and they'll send it back to Anchorage for us, the main city.
Okay.
Or if we're close to the finish line, they'll send it to the finish line, and we'll pick them up there.
Okay.
And the main reason we drop dogs is actually because they get sick, not because they get injured. Because you have hundreds of dogs from around the world all coming together, running in one trail. They're likely one's going to have a bug and is going to spread it. So you want to get rid of that sick dog, send them home, make sure they're nice and rested, and then your rest of your team doesn't get sick. You don't need 14 dogs to pull this sled.
Right.
Definitely not. But it is nice to have those extras in case one does get sick.
This is the Iditarod Trail Race Headquarters. Checking out the Iditarod Trail Headquarters. Out in front of the headquarters, they got the statue of Balto. And this is dedicated to the memorable spirit of the sled dogs of the Iditarod Trail sled dog race.
I remember the story of Balto when we were young. We learned a lot about the story of Balto.
So this is the statue of Balto.
If any of my sisters are watching.
This is the last great race on earth. Endurance, fidelity, intelligence. And this is the Iditarod headquarters here in Wasilla, Alaska. Wasilla, Alaska.
Balto was.
Here on the property of the Iditarod headquarters, they have this little small cabin-like building up on stilts. It's called a cache, and that's what they use to store their meats and stuff in the wintertime. And it's up on stilts so that the bears and wildlife can't get to it. I've seen it in videos before, but I wasn't sure what this was, so I had to ask. And that's pretty cool. Okay.
I got to meet a real Iditarod musher, Riley Deutsch. He's ridden the Iditarod for 5 times, right? And
Did you say 5 or 8?
5.
5.
He may have came in 8th. Or did he come in, I forget what he said. That's that.
So we're here today
cool.
at the Iditarod headquarters, checking it out, and we took a ride. Here we are on the ride. We got Yeah.
too. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
9 dogs pull, 3 of us on a 300-pound cart.
Oh, this
Gives
is.
you an idea how powerful 16 pulling just.
Well, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
just you.
And they ain't even really
I
trying
mean,
to
yes.
really rip.
It's an easy jaunt for 'em. Actually, it's like a little summer weight workout.
Yeah. Oh, now they're picking up the pace. Now they're picking up the pace.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, this
They're
is
letting
awesome.
it rip now. They're like, let's
Oh
go.
my goodness. Do you like doing it?
Oh yeah, I thought I had a lot of passion for it, girl. It's just a lot of work.
I bet. I bet.
Just, 7 days a week for loading dogs up at 7 a.m., driving here, unloading dogs, setting everything up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
bet.
Easy.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then now we got to see little puppies.
So here are some future Iditarod Alaskan Huskies. They're pretty cool.
Oh, you're so cute. That was
Came back
pretty.
over to look at the dogs again, and we remembered the 2 bigger ones' names, and Wild and Free as the names of the 2 bigger ones, and then the 2 smaller ones we can't remember. It was I can't remember what those names were, but cool little puppies. We hope you enjoyed our visit to the Turning Head Kennels and to the Iditarod headquarters, and we hope you've learned a little bit about Alaska dog sledding. We appreciate you following along, and we ask you, if you haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button so you can be notified when we post our next video. And subscribe, it's free. Share it with your family and friends, and please leave us a comment. We enjoy hearing from you. We hope that you continue to follow along watching Blessed Adventures, and we wish you a very blessed day.